welcome back to my channel. I am very excited for our special guest today. I have Shervin of Cymbiotika here today. And if you are not familiar, I mean, you've been on my channel a couple times now.
This is our third.
It's our third one.
Trifecta.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so fascinating. We have so much fun. So Cymbiotika is literally the best supplement company of life.
Thank you.
Truly game-changing, life-changing. And when I know, I mean, you guys know I'm a beauty channel here, a skin channel, but it all starts from internal health, and your skin can only look as like healthy as you are from the inside, you know?
That's right.
And we have Cymbiotika supplements on Skin Truth, and we are now carrying the brand new one that you just released, which is, I can't wait to hear more about this one. You can dive into it.
Well, thank you for that intro. It's a pleasure being here, although it took an hour to drive here.
And we live like 20 minutes away.
7 miles apart,
Yeah.
you know, from Laguna Beach to Newport Beach. I almost feel like Orange County is becoming LA now.
I know,
It's
seriously.
interesting. So,
Yeah.
but you know, driving here activates stress, right? Because you got so many moving parts. There's all these people honking, this and that. And stress causes premature aging. We know that. Cortisol in the body inhibits cytokines in the body to fight off infection, to fight off disease, to fight off all those things. And so what we're doing with Cymbiotika and a lot of the other things that I'm always practicing is how do we mitigate stress? And at the cellular level, oxidative stress is the main activator of disease and premature aging and cellular loss and chronic fatigue. And then from there it goes into all the autoimmunes and and before you know it, you're hitting the disease span. And so what we want to do is we want to do everything we can to encourage the natural life cycle and not be bombarded with things that are going to attack our immune system and attack things that keep us young and fit and things like that. So I got introduced to molecular hydrogen probably about 12 years ago. And it was around the time that there was a renaissance in water and a renaissance in what we're drinking, you know, how important it is. And if you look at molecular hydrogen at its core, what is hydrogen? Hydrogen is the smallest and the first element on the entire elemental table. That means something, you know, and hydrogen is the Earth's opportunity to create balance in life. And the way it works in the human body is we have many different antioxidants that we have access to. Vitamin C, vitamin E, quercetin, astaxanthin, I can go on and on. All very important, all very potent. But hydrogen is the core antioxidant, and because of its molecular size, it's able to cross every barrier in the body and get to the subcellular level where we're having problems. And there is a free radical, and that free radical is called hydroxyl. Have you heard of hydroxyl?
No.
Okay, so hydroxyl is the number one cause of aging. At the cellular level, it acts like a whirling dervish, you know, destroying everything in its path. And because what is a free radical? A free radical is a molecule that has lost an electron, so it's searching for something. And hydroxyl specifically goes after our DNA. It goes after our RNA. It goes after things that make us who we are. And because it's so small, we can't get to it. And that's part of the natural laws of life, right?
Yeah.
But because of this modern mechanistic way of living, that hydroxyl radical is increasing a lot faster, and it's getting to us a lot younger because there's so many things getting in our way. And so molecular hydrogen has the ability to cross into the subcellular level and neutralize that free radical at the subcellular level on the spot.
That is insane.
That is so insane.
So insane, yeah.
There's over 117 disease models for both human and animal right now that hydrogen is making some very, very powerful, activation results. Clinical studies. There's over 1,200 documented PubMed studies and other governing bodies in Japan and China that's showing what molecular hydrogen is doing. So molecular hydrogen, not only is it neutralizing all this oxidative stress, but it also calls on your own defense system. It has the ability to activate transcription factors that produce glutathione in the body, which is our master antioxidant, one of the most important antioxidants. Some of you might know it as something that cleanses your skin and improves wrinkles and stuff like that.
It does. It's good.
It's
Yeah.
powerful, potent.
Yeah.
It's a tripeptide. Well, hydrogen activates your body's production of it, so it pushes it on an endogenous level inside of your system. It also produces catalase and a few other antioxidants. So hydrogen wears so many hats. It's like one of those things that I'm going to be on it for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And where you find hydrogen in nature is you usually find hydrogen in spring water in nature, where it's beautiful, where there's waterfalls, where there's springs. And if you notice in those areas, everything's beautiful, right? And nature knows what it's doing. And so what we were able to do is we linked up with the team, and I've been around molecular hydrogen again for the past 12 years. I was taking hydrogen that had 1 parts per million, 2 parts per million, 3 parts per million. This is the most recorded, strongest hydrogen ever.
Of course. Symbiotica. You guys go above and beyond.
How you do anything's how you do everything.
Yeah.
This is 12 parts per million when you put it in 14 to 16 ounces of water.
Yeah.
And that's unbelievable. All the studies that I was just talking about, those are somewhere between 2 to 3 parts per million. So we're talking about,
wow.
And it's not just 4x, right? 3 times 4, it's not that it compounds. We're talking potentially hundreds of times stronger than even those.
Yeah.
And that's how human composition works and biochemistry works. And so the way you use it is you drop it in, your water. And
It's just a little tablet.
It's just a little tablet. I mean, I could do it right now if you want.
Yeah. Let's take one out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just comes in this little package, and it's little tablets that you can just throw in your water.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there's also magnesium in here too. That's part of the technology on how this works. So you just drop it in there, and then boom, you can see it getting activated. It's actually a really nice experience to like visualize.
It is actually really cool.
It's really cool. And so this is an effervescent tab, and you wait till this is done, and as soon as it's done, you spike it. You drink it immediately. This isn't something you sip on for the next hour. You need to get it all in immediately so it potentiates the redox potential. We don't want to slowly introduce a strong antioxidant like this throughout the day. It needs to come in on an interval and hit you immediately. And then your body takes it, uses it, and then the body comes back down. There's a science behind that.
Yeah.
And I would bore you to death if I break that science down, because it's going to take me at least an hour to explain how our redox system works. But inflammation, we hear inflammation so bad, but we need inflammation. If we don't have inflammation, then if you bump your elbow, your elbow's never going to heal, right? If you sprain your ankle is never going to heal. I mean, we kind of we forgot how inflammation works. Like we ice our ankle when we twist our ankle. That's ridiculous. Don't ice your ankle. You're blocking your body's ability to send growth factors and white blood cells and nutrients there, blood, to heal that spot. And so we need inflammation, but we don't need chronic inflammation. Inflammation that's always subtly there.
That's the difference. And I actually did a whole video talking about chronic inflammation versus healing. Yeah, exactly. Because the chronic inflammation is what's so bad.
That's what kills us.
Yeah.
That's what leads to heart disease, cancers, lymphomas, neurological breakdowns, and other pathogenic viruses break through when you're in a state of stress.
Yeah.
Which is basically chronic inflammation. And I can go down all the autoimmunes. They all are because of oxidative stress.
Yeah.
Someone's susceptible to Lyme's disease and co-infections because their immune system's weakened. We're supposed to have the strength to fight off pathogenic viruses. That's part of being human. But if you're already under a ton of stress, you already have XYZ, then you're ripe for the taking. And it's like in war, you don't want to open up more than one front. If you look at history of all wars, the loser is the one that has a front here and a front there. Yeah. Right? Because you're getting, the line gets pulled. It's the same thing with our immune system. So molecular hydrogen, this is I feel like every time a new formula comes to pass, I'm like, oh, this is it. And it's like, oh my God, I'm doing it twice a day. All my top athletes, I'm head of nutrition for multiple world #1 athletes. One of them just won Wimbledon. I got him on molecular hydrogen, 3 years ago, and he's the top tennis player in the world, breaking records right now. And it's not just for like hardcore athletes, it's for anyone. This is for anyone out there. Elderly, athletes, doesn't matter. Everyone should be on this.
I mean, honestly, it's so powerful. I think it's so interesting. And the great thing is, like, all the supplements that you come out with are like things that you've used in the past and you've, like, you know, you really are passionate about and you've used for years, but then you turn them in and you make them so much better.
Yeah.
And so effective. Like I said, honestly, I've never felt so different while being on certain supplements, you know, than like since I've started taking Symbiotica. You feel a difference, you see a difference. I have had so many people come to me since, you know, starting on Symbiotica, and they're like, my skin looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it just gives you such a boost, and it's because you're like, you're actually giving the body what it needs, you know, from the inside out.
Yep. Yeah. I think we talked about it last time. First of all, that's beautiful to hear, and I'm so hyped
amazing, yeah.
to hear. I mean, you know, our appearance, the way that our attraction is important part of being human. But we kind of like overextended it. I think we talked about it last time, where it's become like our only thing. And when that becomes your only sight is your appearance, then you're taking shortcuts and you're making risky decisions, and at that point you can suffer from that. My whole thing is, I'm not running away from wanting to look good, feel good, and all that, but let your appearance and all those things be the side effect from doing things the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, that's so true.
Yeah, because abundance comes from knowledge and it comes from discipline, you know, and to take these formulas, to be on a regiment with them, and to actually, even more importantly, to understand how they work, that has to come before anything.
Yeah.
We get caught up in this whole instant gratification. So can I just take a pill for this? Just give me this. But if you don't know what it's doing, number one, it won't work as well. Number two, you won't stick with it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
so true.
And that's a problem with today's
Yeah.
kind of, you know, consciousness, and you can see it all over social media and everywhere you go. So with Symbiotica, what our whole design is how you do anything is how you do everything, and to learn the functionality of everything that we're doing is at the utmost top priority. I wouldn't want anyone taking anything without knowing all of it about it. And I'm not saying you got to go and get your PhD in biochemistry and understand all these different things, but just get your beak wet and build momentum in the model of learning. You know, that's really important.
So true. Yeah. So the new molecular hydrogen, you can take this twice a day.
Yeah, you can take it 3 times a day.
Really?
If you're a berserker athlete, or you're like full of stress and you're burning it on both candles, why not?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
so good to know. And then you can take it with the other supplements. There's no like contradictions between anything.
No, the only thing I would say is don't add it to anything else but water. Because it's using the hydrogen in the H2O to potentiate. So we don't want to interfere with that. Like, you don't want to put Shilajit and that in there, because it's just you're not going to get the same effect.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you have anything else?
Any other facts about molecular hydrogen?
I mean, I just find this so fascinating.
Well,
I think it's so cool that it's literally like, it's the only thing that can break through all those, like you said, all those, what is it, like the barriers, right? So
it gets into the reproductive system. It gets to the cardiovascular system. It breaks the blood-brain barrier. It gets to the central nervous system. I mean, it gets everywhere. It crosses every barrier because it's so
more so
small.
than any other antioxidant.
Oh, by far, not even close.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah, it's and just Google molecular hydrogen studies, and wait till you see what comes up.
That's
I mean,
so interesting.
I spent like literally the last like 90 days. I probably read at least 800 studies, and I didn't just read them. I broke them apart. I cross-referenced them. I had phone calls with many incredible scientists to really like get it on a deep level. And I'll be clear that I can go a lot deeper here on how this works on a transcription process in terms of what genes it's activating and what immunomodulating pathways it's activating. I mean, it is so heady you can't even comprehend. But I'm giving it to you in a very basic platform.
Yeah.
It's neutralizing dangerous free radicals at the subcellular level, and the side effect of that is calm, relaxation, more energy when you need it, better sleep, better arousal in all things, all your senses, so you're aroused easier. I don't just mean that sexually. I mean like the arousal process is sight, sound, smell, all of those senses are heightened. People that have tinnitus are reporting all these different things. It makes sense because most of the problems people are having it's just oxidative stress. Your mitochondria is getting burned out, and your mitochondria is the backbone or the battery of life. It's your energy stores. And this goes in there and helps modulate that system so your batteries are running at full octane. It's just fantastic.
So, because as we were talking about with chronic inflammation, it's the cause of disease, it's the cause of skin issues, it's the cause of so much.
Everything.
So this is going to help neutralize and knock out that chronic inflammation.
Everything.
That's
There's
so
nothing.
awesome.
There's. I can say this. There's probably nothing in the history of mankind right now that we know of that has the potentiation to knock out oxidative stress like this.
That is amazing.
Even like a round of 10 million stem cells or whatever you're doing. I don't think it has that potentiation.
That is amazing.
It's that groundbreaking. And if you think about it, this wasn't like made in a lab. Hydrogen is part of this realm. You get what I'm saying? And we just hear hydrogen as just the word, right? Sometimes we get caught up in words. Someone just named the element that. It's so much deeper than that word, hydrogen. It's the fabric of our reality. And with Symbiotica, my whole thing is how do we harness Mother Nature and amplify it and capture it? As opposed to trying to fight against it in a synthetic way.
That's what's so amazing.
Yeah, and that's what symbiotic means.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
This is a game changer.
Yeah, it
Everyone
really
in your
is.
family should be on it. My whole family's on it.
Kids too? What about kids?
Kids too, yeah. I mean, I would say, kids under, unless they're like in a disease state or whatever, but kids under 12, 13, their bodies are they're in full force. It's not going to harm them. It could give them a little bit of output if they're like a crazy athlete at a young age. Maybe it's not a bad idea. Yeah.
So interesting. Well, thank you so much, Sherry. Oh my God, I'm seriously, this is truly a game changer. I love it so much. I'm so excited for everyone to try this because, like you said, honestly, everyone should be on it. So I love it.
There it is right there.
I love it. I love learning all about this stuff from you. So thank you. And we actually have another video we're going to do on another game changer supplement here. So stay tuned. But thank you so much, Shervin.
It's my honor to be here.
Always. Bye, guys.
Bye.